this was quite a long time ago. So this was going back, if anyone can do the math for me, 7 months ago, whatever that would have been. That would
So
have
5
been,
months ago would be, so that would have been October,
why
essentially.
doesn't YouTube just give us a date? So I would be better with that. It was sometime, it appears to be late in the season.
Yeah, because
Because
five
a couple
months
posts
ago would
before
be
that, yeah, they were 6-0.
June.
So this is about
Okay.
mid-season. And we asked who should be Michigan's starting quarterback for the rest of the 21 season. And we got 771 votes. And at that point, it was, you got to consider Michigan's 6-0, 7-0, 7-1, something in that range. And Cade McNamara got 55% of the almost 800 votes.
That's interesting. I wonder. I think about timing with that. Number one, if Michigan, because I think there would have been a difference if Michigan was 6-0 versus whatever that was 7-1. Like if we run that poll before the Michigan State game and then after the Michigan State game, and not saying obviously that it was all on Cade. Both of the
He
guys actually
played a
made
really
some
good game
right.
against Michigan State.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yes, he did. I think he threw for what 400 something
That was
yards.
the most I was ever impressed with him. Was
Yeah.
after that game.
Yeah,
I thought he looked
Yep.
really good.
Well, and then JJ had what 2 fumbles, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 2 fumbles, maybe
Yep,
lost
he
one
did.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So I wonder. I wonder about timing. If that if had we had that poll after the Michigan State game, if it would have been maybe swayed even more towards Cade, to where you say, well, shoot, a guy who threw for 400 something yards and multiple touchdowns, did have the late pick, but I think that's one of those games where you had one guy play really well, and then for JJ, he had the 2 mistakes. So it's just it's a tough spot.
Des, you know what might change people's minds and might be reflected in a poll now is the Georgia game. It's one thing to think, okay, we've got this really good team. We won the Big Ten. We beat Ohio State. We just flattened Iowa. And we've got this quarterback we like. We understand he's not going to be, Russell Wilson at the next level, but we like him for what we do. And he complements our approach to football. And, we think we're really strong, and boom, we're headed toward the playoffs. But then once you see it against Georgia and think, okay, maybe we can't get by with a guy like this. We need that extra gear.
And I even would be interested to hear, even for Georgia fans. I'm sure they had other things on their mind by the time they saw JJ, but I would be interested to get their take on it, on seeing JJ and just how he performed. I mean, it wasn't anything that if you just only looked at the stat sheet where you'd be blown away, but if you actually watched and saw what those throws look like, I think it would. I'd be interested and curious to hear what a Georgia fan would say about that, and just who knows? Maybe they say, yeah, no, I think you got the right guy starting, or it could be, why the heck do you have number 9 sitting on the bench? That kid is special. Who knows? But it's a difficult situation. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Antoine had made another comment, and I think Yep, here it is. And he put, I'm not saying Cade is bad, but JJ allows us a chance to unlock our full potential. We have a Ferrari sitting in the driveway and scared to drive it. I mean, I think as far as unlocking the full potential, I think he does. I think JJ does give you that ability, and it gives you a larger margin for error. I think with Cade, he's going to be terrific within the confines of the offense. I think JJ's got the ability to be terrific within it, and also too on just making plays with his legs, extending plays, and throwing out of the pocket, and just running around as well. So I agree with what Antoine's saying, and it's a tough spot. I mean, I think if Jim Harbaugh were to make that announcement in fall camp, I think that would be him just continuing to reinvent himself. In a way, because it would really go against his track record and what he's always done when it comes to especially the quarterback position. But it could be the key, I think. But we may never know.
Because there had to be an injury with Alex Smith to open the door for Colin Kaepernick, right? Yeah.
Yep. He had a concussion, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point, I mean, Colin Kaepernick was rolling. I mean, they weren't throwing the ball a ton, but their running game was just unreal. And then you had the defense to stop people as well. So even that situation was different and unique. And I think for Michigan to get where they want to be, I think they have to make that switch. And I feel bad saying that because I am a fan of Cade McNamara and how he's played, and not that I'm not a fan of JJ, but I look at a guy who is probably overachieving a bit in Cade, and you want to root for that guy. Like, he hasn't done anything wrong. Like, all I've done is been a steady ship. He hasn't been perfect by any stretch, but it's difficult for me to say it, but it probably needs to be said that in order for Michigan to get back to where they want to be, I think JJ's got to be QB1.
I'll only say one other thing because I agree with everything you just stated, and I think it's pretty obvious by every other angle I've taken on this, except for this. There is a small chance. Go look through quarterback rankings. Go to your favorite year. Just go through all the 247 Sports Composite. Look at all the 5-star quarterbacks. It's quite a few that become busts. Now, I think JJ's shown us enough. I don't know how many passes he threw last year, 40 or 50 probably. I think he's played enough to show us that he won't be a bust.
I would agree with that.
But he hasn't been on the field against fill in the blank, Wisconsin, Ohio State. Every play, this is your offense, you're the guy, the whole game's on you.